Welcome my dear students. Today we are going to learn about effects of British rule. We have seen how the British people enter in India and how the British East India Company take the authority over India. And now we are going to see the effects of British rule. Means actually their rule is going on to the to govern the country. See, in this chapter we are going to study the effects of their rule, British rule. Establishment of East India Company. We have seen that due to geographical discoveries, the European powers reached the Indian coast because of the various geographical discoveries. Dutch, French, and British entered the race for capturing the Indian market. Indian market was so popular that all over the country, all over the world, many countries make competition between them to hire the India. When the British came to India, the trade purpose, the Portuguese had already settled here and they gave a bitter resistance. And we know that how the Portuguese, French, Dutches were there before British. Later, friendly relations developed between them. But later on, because of trading, friendly relations were there in between them. But to establish the domination over India, the British had to face opposition from French, Dutch, and local rulers, means Indian rulers also, because they want to dominate. They want their one hand government on the India. So that's why they began to make fight against all of them. Now see the British and Marathas. What was the relation between British and Marathas? Mumbai was the main center of British in Western India. We know that it was the main, and coastal area was there, is there, that the trading center. It is very easy to make their trade. They were trying to acquire the nearby territories, but the Marathas had strong hold over it, and we know that the Marathas were very strong, and the territory nearby the Mumbai was hired by Marathas. And but the Marathas had stronghold over it after the death of Peshwa Madhavrao. See, Peshwa Madhavrao, at that time Peshwa Madhavrao, his uncle Raghunath Rao approached for help from the British due to his greed for Peshwaship. But Peshwa Madhavrao's uncle Raghunath Rao want the Peshwaship, and then he make the, because of his greed, he make the friendship with the British people and he called them. These lead to the entrance of the British in Maratha politics. So in Maratha politics, firstly British get chance to enter in this politics because of the Raghunath Rao, the uncle of Peshwa Madhavrao. During 1774 to 1818, three wars were fought between the Marathas and the British. See, three wars were fought. During the first war, the Marathas unitedly faced the British and hence proved superior. Really, the Maratha was very superior. In 1782, the Treaty of Salway, treaty means contract, of Salbai, the first Anglo-Maratha war came to an end. So here the first Maratha and Anglo means British people war came to an end. Then see subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance means the sub companies or the friendship of sub companies or unity. Alliance means unity. In 1798, Lord Wellesley arrived in India as Governor General. Who was the Governor General? Lord Wellesley. His objective was to establish the British dominion all over India. Means he want the British command all over India. For this, he signed the subsidiary alliance, and for that he signed the subsidiary alliance with many Indian rulers. Because in India one ruler was not there, many were there. So he made the subsidiary alliance with many Indian rulers. According to this alliance, Indian rulers were assured to British military help. They should have to take the help of British military only. There were some terms laid on them and some conditions were there. the Indian rulers have to maintain British army in their court and have to pay cash for the part of their territory to the company for its maintenance. Means the Indian ruler itself have to give the salary of their army. The ruler would not have any alliance with any other power, because Indian ruler don't have any other power or declare war against any power without the intervention of the British. And the condition was that without our permission, that Indian ruler cannot call the fight against anyone. The ruler would accept the British resident in his state. So the the Indian rulers accept the British, whatever the terms and conditions were there, they accepted. Some Indian rulers accepted the system and lost their freedom. And what happened? They don't get the freedom. They lost their freedom in the hands of British. In 1802, Bajirao II, you see here, the Marathas, the strong Marathas we are talking about, what was there? The alliance, the subsidiary alliance was there, the contract was there between British and India, Indian rulers, but not all, but some rulers, they accepted the terms and conditions of British. And then what happened? See, in 1802, Bajirao II signed the subsidiary alliance. And who was the first? Bajirao II. He firstly signed the treaty, the contract with British. Firstly, this alliance is well known as Treaty of Vasai, and it is known as the Vasai Treaty contract. But this treaty was not acceptable to some Maratha Sardars. But Sardars were not ready. This led to the second Anglo-Maratha war, and then the second British-Maratha war was there. After the victory of British, there was increased interference of British into the Maratha state. And because British get win there, this became intolerable, and Bajirao II waged a war against the British. And Bajirao II, he called the war against British. That is the third war now. He was defeated in this battle, and in 1818 he surrendered to the British. He was defeated there because of he don't have such kinds of military and weapons. In the meantime, the capital of Mughals was under the control of Daulat Rao Shinde, and the Mughals territory was under the Daulat Rao Shinde. By defeating the troop of Shinde, General Lake captured the Mughal emperor, and whatever the territory of Mughals, it was also captured by the British, because British defeated to the Daulat Rao Shinde, who was the main of the main Sardar in the troop of that particular territory, and gain victory over Hindustan. So here we can say how the Maratha defeated, how the Shinde defeated, and how the alliances were there. So because of that, here all over the Hindustan was acquired, India acquired by the British. See, Chhatrapati Pratap Singh. Although the Peshwaship came to an end, we know that Peshwaship now came to an end. Chhatrapati Pratap Singh of Satara was still ruling. But in Satara, Chhatrapati Pratap Singh was there. He was the ruler. He was still ruling. Britishers signed a treaty with Chhatrapati Pratap Singh, and here again another treaty, means contract was there, and appointed a Grand Duff as a officer to assist him, and the one assistant to the Chhatrapati Pratap Singh was assisted by the British government according to the contract. Who was the assistant? Grand Duff. But later, the Chhatrapati was dethroned and exiled to the Kashi, and he was get dethroned and he died there in 1847. Rango Bapuji Gupta, a loyal officer of the Chhatrapati, fought the legal battle and went up to the England, and his loyal officer was also went to the England, but his efforts were unsuccessful, and whatever efforts were taken, that were unsuccessful. The adoption policy was rejected by the Dalhousie in 1848, and he annexed the state of Satara, because there were no any child to the Pratap Singh. That Chhatrapati Pratap Singh. So that's why Satara was also annexed by the British people. Now see, effects of British rule in India, dual government. How the dual government means the government of Indian ruler as well as British. Robert Clive in 1765 introduced dual government in Bengal. The company undertook the work of revenue. Company's role was very important here. East India Company. The collection, the tax, the revenues were in the hands of British East India Company. Means Indian ruler can't do anything. This was known as dual government system, and this is known as dual government system. The ill effects of dual government system could be seen after certain time or period. Money in the forms of taxes went into the pockets of company officers, not to the Indian rulers. The monopoly of trade in India was given to East India Company, and the whole and sole authority is given to the British East India Company. And because of that, many trading company in England invent them, and many companies now coming in India with the help of East India Company. The working system of the company in India received criticism in England, and British Parliament introduced some important laws to control over the company. So some rules were there given by the by the British Parliament. So the parliamentary laws, according to the Regulating Act of 1773, the Bengal governor came to be known as the Governor General. According to this act, Lord Warren Hastings, he became the Governor General of India. He got the right to control the policies of Mumbai and Madras provinces. A committee of 4 members was set up to assist him. See, in this, he made the act, and he passed the act, and he appointed some permanent staff to control the Baroda, means that what he want to do. So the East India Company in India management regulation were in his hand. In 1813 and 1833 and 1853 new laws were passed in the changes of there. The civil services were introduced by the Lord Cornwallis. He introduced the bureaucracy, he introduced the system, he introduced the, today we saw the Mahanagarpalika, the Panchayat Samiti, and that. Those bureaucracy is important. So he introduced that, and for that civil services very important. And that civil services were introduced by the Lord Cornwallis, and because of the management problem, he introduced that bureaucracy. And then for the convenience of the administration, he divided the British occupied territories into districts. So then after that district, this definition come from the Lord Cornwallis, means this district, tehsil, village level we saw that Panchayat Samiti is there, tehsil is taluka level, district, and such kinds of civil services officers he need. So for that convenience, he divided the district. The district collector was chief of district administration. Today also we saw that collector is the main of the every district. He was responsible for the collection of revenue. And who is responsible? The collector. So the collector is responsible to collect the revenue as well as giving justice, maintaining law and order. To maintain the law and order, to collect the revenue, collector was appointed by the British government. The officers were appointed through the competitive examination known as Indian Civil Services, and today also IAS, IPS, that Indian Civil Services, we know that. So such kinds of, means that exam. So this is, today we saw about the effects of British rule, how they established the British India Company and how they rule on the India, and how the civil services were started by them. Okay, thank you.